This episode of Speakers of Eidolon is made possible by our generous patrons like Chris, Tyronius, Dalamud Papoto, Cern Svanhoff, Scry de la Rosa, Jamie Assur, Elim, Ciceriful Ilirifu, Ariel, Courtney, Daimos, Casey Schaefer, and Omagicat Comet. Support the show and become a patron today at patreon.com/SpeakersXIV.
This is Speakers of Eidolon.
Good evening, Aorcians. Welcome to Speakers of Eidolon, episode 103. I'm Lakeel Bravestone, and I'm hopefully joined today by Aspot. You don't have your name tag. And my Lavandar. Who cares? Who cares?
Yeah, who cares, right?
So I updated Skype today. So
Well, we're forced to. I mean, I wouldn't say, you make it sound like it's your fault, but no, not really.
We've been holding off updating Skype because...
Sorry, I missed who Yaz was.
Skype, so we've held it off, and I forgot why. But then we got... if you don't update your Skype, you're going to get a message now on the front page, like, this version is going to stop working soon. And I was like, okay, might as well update now, because with our luck, it'll just stop working while we're doing an episode. Turns out you can't capture that new Skype in OBS. So, panic ensued.
A little bit.
A little bit.
A little bit of depression and worry, probably, as well, sprinkled in there.
A lot of depression. A lot of worry. A lot of stress.
A lot of worry, yeah.
So, we're using Discord now. So hopefully it won't die on us, which Discord tends to do. But there's something worse happening. Content drought. We'll get to that. You'll realize it when you when I read today's stories. We're gonna speculate about 5.0 today.
Oh no!
That's our main story tonight, and you should stay tuned though, because after the dot is still at the bottom of the screen. By the way, you see it?
Oh yeah.
The rogue little fucking dot. That's.
I do. Yes.
Oh my god, it's the worst. What was I saying? Oh yeah. Stay tuned, because after this, in the post show, we'll be playing Gillionaire again. So that's nice. Now let me bring you back down again. Secrets of a Realm is delayed because I had some big issues that almost it was bad. And then I figured after I had mapped the dungeon, we're going to Thanalon in this one, and while I was mapping it, I was like, this is a really boring ass dungeon, and this is the worst dungeon I think I've ever been to, and it's the first time I have seen those prefabs that they use in the dungeons. Usually what they do is like they use a prefab, then they add like another section, usually a curve or like just something that hides the next prefab.
So you don't like see the connector or something?
So then they use the same asset unit. Let's say they'd use that prefab, add like a U-turn, and then add the same prefab there. It's not so apparent when you've already sort of walked through something else.
Right.
This is the first dungeon where I've seen two prefabs right next to each other, like right after each other.
Ooh.
So all they did is they put the prefab down, took the next one, and then just flipped it. Like they mirrored it. So it's just... you just see the same thing.
Do you think that was just because it was like hardly worked on at all, or
Yeah,
do you think that was
remember-
just like them getting bad?
I talked about it when we looked at the Ul'dah roar, that I speculated that Ul'dah and Thanalon might be the last zone they've completed, because it's very
Right.
barren. And that dungeon is barren, and it's got the same sort of assets as the sand caves. But yeah, it's a mess. But it's nice to see that too, because I think I've glorified 1.0 too much. So it's kind of sobering to see that this is mostly what you got. By the way,
oh, I forgot all the reasons this game isn't good.
Yes. So that's gonna come. It's gonna be out. I hope to get it done by either Sunday or Monday for patrons, and then it'll be out just during the week. It'll be out before August.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Quick news update. So the EU Fan Fest tickets are now on sale, and they have been on sale for a while, and they will go public on the 30th, which means scrubs that don't even play the game can buy tickets. So get your tickets.
Why did those last like weeks longer than the NA one?
It's weird, isn't it?
Hard to say.
You had 30 seconds to buy the NA tickets, and you have like 2 weeks to buy EU tickets.
Yeah, it's strange. Yeah. Is it a bigger venue, or is it just because it's France?
Okay, so I don't know if they upped the venue from last time, but because I went to last Fan Fest in Las Vegas.
Yes.
And it was pretty tiny. Like it was in the Paris, I think, but it wasn't like in the Paris. It was in like the back, it was like in a conference room type of thing, and it wasn't small either, but it wasn't. I think it was like there's a sign on the wall saying capacity was like 3,000.
3,000. Oh, because I checked.
That many players in NA,
something like that.
Yeah. Okay, that's crazy. I think the venue that we're going, or that EU that they have for the EU event, can hold like. What was it? I've tried to find the exact numbers, but it's one of those venues that is highly configurable, so you can't really find like a good number. The highest I could find was 15,000, but
like 6,000 castle.
Yeah. By the way, that's totally based off of me looking at a sign in the actual room. Right. It was like on the wall or something.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's still on sale.
It is being hosted in a former slaughterhouse.
It is actually, so that's cool to think about
nice.
When you're there.
Yeah. It's like, think about how much just murder has happened here. It's great.
I also read like a curious line, like right after that, there was like some practical information, and it said that the PA system, they had like speakers hanging on hooks. And I'm like,
oh no, that's horrible.
That sounds grim, dude.
What is this place?
That's why
is this a horror movie, or is this
La Grande Halle de la Villette has a capacity of 15,000 people.
So maybe that's why. If they're selling that many more tickets, I don't know.
That sounds absurd.
That sounds horrible.
Is there 15,000 people that play this game?
That's exactly.
15,000 players. Like, how do you... That is... Oh my god, that sounds like a nightmare. But okay, that's fine, I guess. I mean, that could explain it.
I mean, that's also not to say that they're selling 15,000 tickets as well.
That's true.
That could be true. Max capacity, but this... If it was anything like last Fan Fest, there was a lot of space that was cornered off for, merch booth, the game challenges,
I think 15,000 is more to just fill the whole, like, big room. But there's going to be, like, there's going to be stuff there, so probably less. But yeah.
I mean, if you've ever wanted to meet Moogle, go.
There you go.
Most going to be Moogle players.
Yeah. So that's cool. Remember to get your ticket. Maybe they'll sell out by the 30th, but I doubt it at this point. I don't know. Well, I have nothing to base that doubt on, though, to be fair. So, it can sell out now. So I guess when this comes out on YouTube, it's already been open to the public. Also, this is how you know there's content around. The official forums now has a ban appeal process.
Wow.
Or rather, they have a form that you can fill out. So now you can get unbanned more easily than before. So cool.
It's still real easy to get banned, though.
It is. Yeah. It is. I also read that previously they increased the amount of characters you can put in a post. But they didn't put it to the maximum that the forum can hold. They have this custom character limit, which is completely pointless, because everyone who's using the official forum knows that all you have to do is start writing your post, then click finish, go back and edit it, and you will have the full like 12,000 character limit or whatever.
Okay,
So
sure, makes sense, right?
Yeah,
makes sense.
Yeah. It's very, very good. So I know a lot of people get banned. I do feel like there's been like a surge of like people outraged that they're getting banned, but don't be, because the forums, it's a lawless land. Well, it is. Maybe it's like a police state.
It's also a cesspool, so don't be worried about being not included in the cesspool. It's where good ideas go to die.
Yes. So I don't know. I don't really read the official forums anymore, although the official forums has been one of the best places to just get a good laugh, because there are a lot of
that's
true. It is a good joke.
Completely, yeah. So that's that. And there's also a new contest coming out, or it's already started. It started on the 25th. It's the Eorzean furnishing design contest.
Interior design.
Interior
design. And you make furniture for Square Enix, so they don't have to.
Well,
No, not at all. You design your house to look nice and send them a picture of it.
Oh, is that all?
And that's why I was saying that it's actually really cool, because this is the first one that you don't have to draw or be an artist or whatever.
Oh yeah, you're right.
You can just make your if you be like, dude, I've decorated the best house that has ever existed. Send a pic in. I think that's great. Personally, it's about time that they. I think it's about time they rewarded like the general public of that are playing the game, opposed to the small 1% section of artists who are playing the game.
There are 200 possible winners, and they will all get the Gaily Cat, the Noble Barding, Ahriman Choker, Mandragora Choker, Bluebird Airing, and the Scarf of Wondrous Wit.
I feel like I shouldn't even say this, but if you enter, I feel like you have a pretty good chance of winning.
Not anymore.
I know, that's why I should have said it, because I was like, oh, I could have gotten all that stuff.
So yeah, that's cool. If you live in Quebec, you can just enter.
Yeah, what's up with that? I actually sent that to one of my friends in Quebec. I'm like, why is this? Why is the whole world like, yep, everyone in the world can join except Quebec? What?
Oh, Monaco can do it. Yes, Monaco can join.
Oh, wow. Wow.
That's good. Yeah.
Like, what doesn't make any sense? Apparently, actually, my friend responded. He said, our raffle regulations are so expensive, people would rather leave us out than pay it up.
Cool.
So they basically made it like give us $6 million and then we'll let you run a contest for $5 prize money.
Wow.
Nice.
Nope.
Right. I was about to say, oh yeah, did you read about the story with where this Japanese player, I think it was a Japanese player, had submitted artwork for one of the earliest design contests for furniture. And he didn't win. And then was it patch 4.3? Was it this patch 4.3?
It was the most recent one.
Yeah. And he drew, so basically what he designed was a cupboard that was half open with like a broom next to it, and
I have that in my house. Yep, I have the new item in my house.
And he was shocked when the patch came out, and that was his furnishing item in the game, and it's hardly tweaked. Like it's more or less exactly the same. The only thing is like the drawer is like mirrored. There's the other drawer is open instead of there's stuff like that, but it is unmistakably that design. Now, in the rules, it does state that once you send this in, you have handed over your rights to this artwork. This is now,
That's still rough, though.
Yeah, but it gets better. It has a happy ending. I need to actually find it. Can I find it? Hold on. So what happened was there was like a lot of backlash.
I assume in the JP community, probably.
Yeah.
People got upset, and he got it got a lot of traction. A lot of people supported this dude that had designed this.
It's pretty scummy, yeah.
But lo and behold, Yoshi P himself sends an email to this person.
I wish it was even better. I wish it was like Yoshi P himself hand-delivered a wax-sealed letter.
Okay, let's see if I can find it, though. New. Okay, let's... I know it was on the... Was it on the subreddit? Oh my god, I wish I could find it now.
So we were talking about earlier that we may have hit a low point.
This is our low point right here.
Oh no.
Oh, here we go. So, I think I might have to read a lot of this because this. Okay, so there was a small incident in Japan. This is from Reddit user Carrier of Light. There was a small incident in Japan where one of the applicants for the furnishing design contest made a blog post complaining about how the design he drew for the last fan festival was used in the game. So it was from the last fan festival, without the dev team contacting him. But he was one of the winners of the recent furnishing design contest, and his Hingen cleaning supplies was implemented in the game legitimately. But he noticed that on one of his old designs was also used, the cabinet. Oh, the cleaning supplies was separate.
Okay, so that he actually just won for.
Yes, but then he also supplied an additional design, and that was the cabinet. That one didn't win. Okay, that's... okay, so after a while, Yoshi P himself sent this applicant an email explaining the whole process. So here is the email. Dear Moff... what a name. Dear Moff P... Mokkilin. Low point.
Is that a first and last name?
That is
you can tell he's a Japanese player.
Yeah, dear Moff P Mokkilin. Excuse me for...
Mothman.
Please take this very serious. It's a serious letter from the producer.
Dear Mothman.
Dear Mothman, excuse me for suddenly contacting you. As the producer and director of Final Fantasy XIV, I wanted to inform you about a certain matter. I apologize for the inconvenience, but I would like you to confirm this email. No, confirm this, please.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Oh, saying like.
Is this your real email? Yeah.
Moff P-san, thank you for continuing to play Final Fantasy XIV. This is Yoshida, the producer and director of Final Fantasy XIV. Oh, okay. I read your blog post.
Yeah, but he has to say it every time he says his name.
Right.
I read your blog post the day after the patch was released. I'm sorry it took so long to contact you. We had to contact each division involved in this matter. I would like to apologize for you having to go through this and not being able to enjoy the new update right after you were getting excited to see your design get implemented in patch 4.3. I personally could not get around to check your blog post on patch day since I was dealing with other matters. Oh, you don't say. But the Final Fantasy XIV community team contacted me and I was finally able to check through your blog. The project managers gathered the art designer, model designer, and orderer to hear their take to confirm what actually happened, and below are the results. So here's the timeline. The planner in charge wanted to implement a cabinet that fits with a lived-in feel style, and since your Moth Piece design from the 2014 fan art contest was fabulous, he sent that design as a reference with the order sheet. The designer...
Wait, so I'm confused. Was it the cabinet? The mop cabinet thing?
The cabinet was did not win.
What's the other item?
The cleaning supplies, like the bucket and isn't it a bucket and a broom or whatever? I can't remember. There's like a bucket and a broom or whatever.
I can only think of the actual like stand-up cabinet with the broom against it.
No. He also made one with it's just the cleaning supplies.
Okay.
So he sent the design of this cabinet as a reference with the order sheet. And the designer who received the order from the planner misunderstood this as the design from the recent furnishing contest and ended up using it as the base design for the new furnishing. It's true that the guidelines for the fan art contest and furnishing design contest state that the copyright for the designs will belong to Square Enix, but it is also true that the art contest for the fan festival wasn't meant for your design to get implemented in the game, and as a result, a furnishing item based on your design ended up being released in the game. Even if there was no problem legally, we should have contacted you beforehand if we were to intentionally implement this item. Whether or not there were legal issues, we weren't thorough enough with the above policy. We informed and discussed this with the leaders in the team and on top of the actual designers in charge to make sure we stick to this policy in the future. Once again, we are sorry about causing these contingencies. Like I said above, we as a team would like to stay flexible and not solve it but just say it's legally okay. And instead, take one step forward and be considerate about respecting the applicants for the design contest. We would like you to continue enjoying Final Fantasy XIV. It's up to you to upload this email on your blog or not, but if you are going to do so, we would appreciate it if you don't post portions of this email because that can lead to misunderstandings. Yoshi P. He didn't have to do that.
That's a pretty legit response. And I guess what I would say, if they learned anything from this, hire that man, because apparently he makes really good designs. If they've implemented 2 of his designs into the game.
Yeah, right?
Right? Like that obviously knows his shit.
I mean, I think that was a good move from Yoshi P. I mean, he didn't have to do this. Like, they own that design. They could use it, like, they could, it's up to them. He's already signed off his rights. But yeah, shows that he kind of cared a little bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a little sidetrack there. Okay, now, woo! Main story. So we're ramping up for 5.0. Now we know that how sure are we? Why is this making sound now? That never makes any sound.
Oh god.
I'll just turn that off for now. Thank you for the follow. Okay, sound is now off, by the way. So, okay, so what was I saying? Oh yeah, 5.0. So how sure are we that we're going to Garlamald?
Like, I'd say like 90%.
Oh, I'm going to the full 100%.
It might be like what we did with Heavenswood, not Heavenswood, Stormblood, and we think we're going to Kiribania, but then they add in an extra bit as well.
I don't think that's going to be the case.
I hope not, because I want it more focused.
Right.
I want it focused on...
Yeah, actually, that's kind of an interesting topic as well. Do you guys think it was... did you prefer them splitting it up into 2? Like, because I know a lot of people...
No,
I didn't.
So this... We've talked about this before again, but it's very obvious that it feels like... Well, actually, initially it felt like the Doman story was tacked on. Now it feels like the
Alamiga. It feels like Kiribania, right?
Yeah.
And here's the thing, though. But I honestly don't think a pure Kiribanian expansion would have done that well in hindsight. I think honestly, one of the reasons Stormblood did so well is because of all the weeb stuff in it.
Yeah, probably.
It was very attractive, and like. I don't mean that in a mean way either. I actually mean that in a totally normal way. Yeah. I just mean it's stuff that's like, it's stuff that caters to the player base pretty hardcore. Yeah. So I think that like really,
I definitely agree with the first part that a Kiribanian expansion wouldn't have worked, but I think a pure Far East expansion would have worked.
Yes.
And now they've sort of lost out on that.
It feels like,
half-boiled.
Yeah, I agree. And it feels like maybe what happened was that they felt like they had to do Alamigo because the story, like even they started the whole Alamigo shit started like in 1.0. And I think it was Yoshi P's team who started that storyline, if I'm not mistaken. So they had already sort of set the wheels running, right? So it was too late. They had to go to Alamigo. But it's very clear that they probably didn't want to. And instead they wanted to do all this Eastern stuff instead, which is why we barely touched Alamigo right now. And they made Alamigo a dungeon.
I'm not even also sure that we're going to see too much more Alamigo story before.
Doesn't feel like it.
I honestly don't think we're going to get much more. I think...
it concluded, didn't it? Like, we're done.
Well, it kind of did. Like, it did in the fact that we're done with it and like they're no longer conquered and stuff. But the best we got is like Lisa Raubon might run the country.
Yeah.
Like, we got the basic governmental structure. We didn't really like. I know people don't want to deal with more politics, and I actually agree with that. Like Ishgard at the end, it was like, we're good.
There was a lot.
Yes. There was a lot. So I'm not going to say that we need to go like figure out who's going to run the country and like see everything because I I don't really want to.
Yeah.
But I feel like we didn't like really get anything. Like we didn't see even people move into Alameda. We don't know who's living there now. Like we don't know anything about what happened afterwards.
No, and that's why I hate the fact that I made it into a dungeon, because now the dungeon is like that part of Alamigo is forever gonna be locked into that chaos mode that the dungeon is in.
Mhm.
So I don't know. Also, because they made it a dungeon, Alamigo feels cramped and linear, and like the
It doesn't
dungeon.
feel like a big.
It's a dungeon.
It's the biggest city by far.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like actual city
And just
size. You look at it
remember
from the
all the
outside and you're
artwork.
like, yeah. Well, just think about it like from the outside, looking at Alamigo proper,
Yeah.
and then compared to like Gridania, which is like 15 buildings.
Mhm.
You know, like for real, it is. It's only like 15 buildings.
Yeah.
Sure, Ulda's pretty big, but even
Yeah.
it like
Hold up.
dwarfs Ulda.
Yeah.
You know, like it shouldn't feel like a tiny little dungeon, of course, right?
No.
However, I think we could probably all be pretty certain that's not going to be the case with Garlamald. There's, in my opinion, a 0% chance that that is the case, because unless they split it up, they're going to need a hub city, regardless.
They are. Yeah. But
Like, I think here's the. I personally
Well, why would
think.
it be Garlamald?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't it be Garlamald?
Why would we?
Because that's the enemy capital.
Yeah. It's like the
Sure.
heart of our most our arch
Yeah.
nemesis. It's like
I mean-
If in one expansion we defeat Garlamald, I'm not going to be very pleased.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm
okay,
already
well,
very mad.
By hub, I don't mean like the Rauger's Reach of the expansion, which turned out to be useless anyways. But
No, you.
but do
the
they even
Idleshire?
have? Do they have teleport crystals?
no, probably not.
No, they probably don't. So we're gonna have to walk.
Goodness.
I'd make
all the
them.
way from-
But I honestly do. There's no way that Garlamald isn't going to be a playable zone.
I hope
That
so.
would be like an ultimate kick in the nuts to every player.
Well, Alamigo was a big kick in the. Fucking
this would be
nuts.
worse. This would be worse.
This would be
in my
worse.
opinion.
I agree.
Way worse.
It's as if they had made Limsa a hub. No, sorry, not a hub. They'd made Limsa
Right, a dungeon. Right, exactly.
Mm.
I don't know.
But I don't know. There's the lore complications that worry me. It's like, why would we?
They might.
How would
They
get
actually might have
ether
teleportation crystals. Because think about how many people don't like have magic there now.
But
It's
don't
a
they
lot of
always
people-
travel by airship? Isn't that why they have so many of them?
Well, yeah, because if they're gonna,
And
well,
train.
I don't know. I mean, I'm
Otherwise,
just
they
thinking
could have
like,
just invaded by Aetherites when they
well,
started.
no,
the
no,
invasion.
because the regular True Blood Garleans couldn't use them.
Then what's the point with an Aetherite in the middle?
Because
of
there's a lot of people in Garlemald. Like, remember, the Garleans are the vast minority
Mm,
in Garlemald now,
mm.
right? There's so many other people that
Yeah,
actual
but-
True Blood Garleans are a pretty small percentage now,
I don't know.
right?
I don't
But
know.
if they can just etherite themselves around, all the people who are like Alamegan would just etherite themselves to Limsa or something.
Yeah.
It's true. I don't know. I just have a tough time believing that we're not gonna there's gonna be Aetherites all over the place in Garlemald. It's not gonna make any sense.
Were there even Aetherites in occupied Alamigo? Because didn't we have to restore
Yeah,
the one that was in the
It was
Alamigan
in
quarter?
Yeah, we didn't have to.
didn't. Okay, we
No, we didn't. And there was ones in like Alagiri, Alagana. Those all existed.
Yeah, but
already.
that's Eorzean territory. Like that
Right.
makes sense.
for
That's
sure. But I just
it's-
think that like it's gonna be. We're definitely gonna
House of
have
the
them.
Fiercest.
Well, it'll have to be for convenience sake.
Of course.
Yeah, it will. But that
I mean, it would be
begs the
absolutely
question: would it not
horrible.
be easier to save the lore to just make Garlemald a dungeon?
No.
It could very well be.
No.
I'm going to be pessimistic until it comes out because I'm not.
I know.
It could-
I understand why. I get it. And
Because
I-
I
Garlemald
was
could
so
very
ready
well
for
be the
Alamigo.
24 man. It could
Could.
very easily be the 24 man.
That would be weird.
just put
If
it
that's
within
the
the main
raid,
story
if
instead
that's
of-
the Alliance raid series, that would be pretty.
it would have
weird.
to. It would have to be brought back with the MSQ like Bahamut, and they'll never do that.
No,
They could do it.
I
They'll
don't know.
never do that.
It's. I don't know. So, okay, so we're obviously gonna get Ilsabard, like the whole of Ilsabard. Do you think we're gonna get
Well,
Tavnair?
a small
Well,
four or five small
Oh, yeah,
areas
yeah.
in Ilsabard. Not actually full Ilsabard because it's fucking.
Well,
Well, you know,
if we're
it is what it
considering, if we're considering Stormblood, we got a lot of zones, but they were spread over 2 continents. But this one's probably just gonna be Ilsabard. So,
We got
Hopefully.
about the
Right,
same as
yeah.
Heavens, right? With 6, didn't we?
Yeah, it was 1 extra zone, wasn't it?
yes.
I think it was
Heavenswood
1 extra zone total.
5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was 1 extra zone.
Do you think we'll get Thavnair? That's a lot of people are talking about Thavnair possibly being
No, I
because
don't
they're
think
like the
so.
Switzerland of Eorzea, aren't they? They can meddle with all nations because they're kind of neutral.
I would
Yeah.
like to, but I'm gonna say, like, honestly, I don't think it's the time. I wouldn't want to go to Thavnair right now. I think it's a complete waste of time for like a far more important story.
Yeah.
I would, for once, I know this isn't like their design philosophy, but for once I would like them to wholly focus on one thing, not scatter it all over the place, just actually focus directly on one thing, aka the climax of the entire game so far.
Pretty much, yeah.
Be focused and directed, in my opinion. It shouldn't be, oh, we're gonna spend 20 minutes in Charlea, 20 minutes in Thavnair, and an hour. Like, it should just be like as serious as the situation is, you know?
Yeah.
But it's
And, well, no, 6.0 is the climax of the Ascian story, but this
for
is
sure. But
this is the climax of like
This is-
since A Realm Reborn. This is the Realm Reborn climax happening.
yeah,
This is our, like, Wrath of the Lich King.
Yeah.
I think
It's like the story that's been with us for so long, and we're finally getting there.
yeah,
Exactly right.
because
yeah,
after
totally.
this, yeah, again, that's the Ascians
After
are
this,
left.
we just deal with Ascians.
But
And after them,
Yoshi P will
Nothing.
step down, won't he? So there'll be a new
Yeah.
story director. It's not
Yeah,
just story
God.
director, but director and producer.
Mhm.
If we're getting only Ilsabard, how is that? It's just I just can't get over the fact that this is like the most protected, guarded off place in Eorzea. It is the
Mhm.
most powerful empire on Hydaelyn, as we know. How the
Yeah.
fuck are we gonna get to all these settlements on
Probably
Ilsabard?
straight.
Probably the same-
Aetherites?
Probably the same way we walked through Baelsar's wall with zero trouble.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't
same-
it wasn't
the
hard
same
for us to
way-
get to Kugane either. It was just like, hey, what's up? We're taking a boat here now. Like, it
That's-
wasn't hard.
Yeah.
But I
The
feel
same way we liberated two city-states that have been under Guardian rule for like 20 years.
Yeah, and we just walked
in
in.
one expansion.
I just feel like that those were I would be okay with that because they're usually like because that's not technically Garlamald. It's like a province that they control, and they had sort of let their guard down. They were like, oh, it's that part. But this is Garlamald.
This is
This
their
is
territory.
the
Well, but-
Republic of Garlamald, if it's even called
But even
that
more
anymore.
likely is that, like, don't forget, we do have an inn. I mean, it's judging by the live letter stuff, it probably doesn't work anyways. But we do have like Maximus
Yes.
and all of them to actually, like, we have an inn.
Yeah.
You know, we actually have
Mhm.
some Gaius. Like, Gaius probably knows Garlamald like the back of his hand. You know, I feel like he would be able to get us in there with really not too much difficulty.
I think he's going to be our, like, Izael. I think he's going to bring us
Oh,
in
yeah.
and then we'll
Gaius
liberate.
or Maxima?
Yeah, Gaius.
Oh, you want? Oh no, I don't.
I
Want
think
Gaius
he's
to
gonna.
die.
No. Hear me out.
Oh,
Gaius
okay.
is gonna bring us in. He's gonna help us liberate it for whatever reason. I can't tell you why.
Mm-hmm.
But then he's gonna be able to lead us into the anti-Ascian plot because he's been hunting them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense, doesn't it? Yeah.
Oh,
it really
what
does.
if he
He'll lead
becomes
us
a
into
scion?
6.0.
Become
could
a
be.
scion.
I would love that. I mean, he, again, like, I feel like it's been so long that, you know, people forget. But he, at the end, he's like, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Before he died,
Yeah.
he was like, you're right, dude. You're right. I would join you if I could, but it's too late now.
Yeah.
Like,
It's yeah.
It's amazing how many Guardians we've got on our side.
well,
Actually.
That's a good
I assume
point.
we're gonna get a lot more on our side pretty soon too.
It's a good point because that's the whole thing that I've been thinking about because that's what I wanted to talk about when I said how are we going to move around in Garlamald. We still don't know how bad the political turmoil is in Garlamald.
Exactly.
For all we know, it might be completely like fucking crazy shit. Like people are defecting and whatever. Like
Could
it
be
might,
like a
I
civil
think-
war.
yeah.
I think we're kind of led to believe that it's not too bad, right? But at the
Yeah,
same
so far.
time, clearly, like Maxima and stuff, they were just like
If you
they didn't really bat an eyelash, did they?
No, if you live in a totalitarian
Totalitarian.
Totalitarian.
regime, they will usually suppress any
Exactly,
we wouldn't know, would we?
I mean, you say that, but we don't even know if it is a toad. Like, we know that they ruled their, and much like the Romans, they ruled a lot of their stuff with an iron fist. Doesn't necessarily mean they ruled Garlamald with an iron fist, though.
That's also
Like,
true.
they might treat people of their with like that are Garlean with perfectly fine respect, right?
We technically, we don't even know if there is this faction split. We've just been told.
Exactly. Yeah, we've just been told. So it might not be like exactly what we think it is.
Well, didn't Xenos confirmed it though, or the fake Xenos? Did he not mention the Popularis in the cutscene? And he was like, "They're
He
fucking
did.
shit up."
Yeah, he did.
So that is confirmed, I guess. But yeah, we don't know how deep. We don't know if it is deep at all. But there is something. So I think that's going to be probably the justification for how we're going to get around in Garlamald. That there's not going to be all baddies in there.
I guess the most likely thing is that something we do, probably the dungeon, in my opinion, probably the dungeon equivalent of Baelsar's Wall, going at like the last MSQ dungeon we have, is probably going to set things up in a way where we're, I think probably the most likely thing is starting a civil war.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Right? And then we would have everything access to the one side that agrees with us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which again, to support the Aetheryte thing makes more sense, because I'm pretty sure most of the defectors, the Civil War, would probably be non-Garleans,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because I don't think they're too stoked on it, most of them at least. So, I mean, that would kind of make sense, right?
Yeah. That would.
And then by level 69, we'll be walking up to the front doors. By 70, we'll go in as a dungeon and we'll beat that dungeon, and then we'll never go back again.
Yeah.
I'm assuming we're gonna get brand new Aetheryte, Garlean Aetherites.
Dude, I imagine like a Magitech kind of looking Aetheryte.
Oh, God, yeah.
Oh my god, what if it runs off ceruleum? It's blue too. It makes sense.
Yeah, sure.
Ceruleum Aetherite. There we go.
Yeah. Absolutely. It'd be like an engine. Like it'll have like
yeah.
exhaust coming off of it and stuff.
Yeah.
It'd be
Hell
so
yeah.
cool. It'd be like steampunk, basically.
Yeah. So what do you think? Okay, so that's what we think about like story. I saw someone ask like, if will they even be able to make Garlamald the way they want it in this game? Probably not. I have.
What do you mean?
Like,
why not?
Will the game be able to have? Because I feel like Garlamald is big. It's a big, very.
Well, yeah.
clean,
I mean,
like.
Garlamald in this game would cover about 3 zones.
Right.
Knowing this engine. If it's going to be a hub because of the player size, like the amount of players in there, I reckon it would have to be split.
Yeah, it would probably be 2.
I don't even think so. Like, in my opinion, what's wrong with like a Kugane-sized Garlamald? I don't.
That
really
would disappoint me greatly. That's Kugane is tiny.
Garlamald
How can the Garlean
It's not that tiny.
Kugane is tiny. Compare that. If you would show me a picture of Kugane, like that's the Kuganian Empire, I'll be like, what the fuck? It's a tiny town.
Kugane is like a port.
It's a port town.
Well, and we don't even have access to all of Kugane.
Exactly.
Right.
There's a whole giant, like most of Kugane, we don't even get to touch. Like if you go talk to those 2 dudes that stand there in front of that gate, and they're like, "No, this is where everybody else goes. Get the hell out of here!" Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
We also don't have access to Alameda.
Sure,
and that's quarter, and that's.
We also don't have access to all of Ul'dah, not even remotely close to. Like we have like 1% of Ul'dah. We have the ground floor of Ul'dah, basically.
Well, 1% that's a bit crazy, but yeah, there are closed gates.
Right. So. Well, and just like how much is above us. Like if you look, there's like, there's giant palaces and stuff up there.
Yeah, the big part on the top is the palace. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you're right. There's a lot of stuff that we can't reach. But you would have to convey the scale of Garlamald properly.
And actually, Rare Beast has a really good point too, because Garlamald's in like the worst place ever.
Yeah.
It's like hard. It might not be that big.
Yeah.
It might be so shitty. It's like it would be like if you tried to build a giant like empire in Siberia. It wouldn't really work that well, right?
Yeah, but it's not that bad up there.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely,
it is. Not Siberian.
Yeah, dude.
No.
Yeah, they said it's like almost impossible to live there, and that's why they hate everyone.
But we've already seen footage like from inside buildings in Garlamald. Remember when we saw Xenos in the recovery bay or whatever? You could see some of the outside. It just looks like a very like I don't know how to even explain it. It looks that's the image I have. Like just like all like can we is Garlamald
It looks
fascist?
like
Can we
possibly.
because
Yeah.
they are, right? They're like
Well,
they adore the purebred Garleans. They you know they are very fascist. So I'm picturing like this fascist style city, like with clean like big parade streets, like
I think the
long
honest
avenues.
Like, the closest comparison is likely like the Roman Empire is the closest comparison to them, which isn't necessarily fascist. It's not fascist, but it's not like full on, you know.
Well, I mean, we have the world map, including the little icon for Garlamald, and it's bigger than like SoH or whatever it's called, Somal even.
That's true.
It's huge.
Yeah,
and it's like huge towers as well.
I mean, when you're talking about that it was difficult to live there, you're talking about when they settled there. I mean, but they've grown.
But even like
into a massive republic and then an empire.
Even the lore book says like they can't grow food there still.
Yeah, because they live in harsh environments. That's
right.
why.
That's why they expanded. Yes. Exactly. So it wouldn't make. I mean, I don't think it's going to be that great. I think it's still going to be.
It's going to be like a black iron fortress.
It's going to be blue.
Be very oppressive.
It's going to be blue. It's going to be blue and white. I feel like those are the colors palettes they're going to use there. White is
snow, dude.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a lot of snow there.
That's true.
It's the color of Ilsabor. It's just isn't everything covered in? Is it? It's not all covered in snow, is it? Oh god.
I assume I assume not. No, I assume not. It can't be that bad. But yeah, it's definitely gonna be like a lot. You're right. White and blue is probably gonna be the main colors of the expansion.
It's just gonna be like a giant castrum, isn't it? Really?
No,
we don't know.
No,
we don't know.
So what we know, and we actually know aesthetically, is that the castrums are built of like pre-made assets that they bring with them.
They're like
of,
prefabs.
Like, they're prefabs, and they set them up. That's why all the castrums look the same, because they're manufactured using the same parts. So that's not how Garlamald looks. That's how their fortresses look, or their castrums.
Right.
We've never seen a pure Garlean building. We've only seen like weird.
The closest. I think they said the closest we get is some of the stuff in Alamigo, because that's like them mixing with it.
Yeah, but that's still a mix. It's a hybrid.
But it's still a mix. Exactly.
Yeah. Mixing, yeah.
Like, I doubt there's going to be like all these stone buildings and stuff. I honestly wonder what it's even like. Is it going to be like full of metal? Like my image of Garlamald is like black metal everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, everything's constructed out of steel and stuff like that.
But again, that's the image we have because of the castrums, isn't it? Because
exactly.
That's all we know.
Yeah. Well, even the inside shots of Garlamald still kind of give off that vibe.
It was very white in that room with Xenos, wasn't it? It was very white, giant window, just white.
I think it was just really bright outside, wasn't it? That's what I thought. That's how I interpreted it. I interpreted it as just like really bright outside.
We watched the cutscenes.
Yeah. And it's true, it was also a hospital, so
it was a hospital.
Hospitals tend to be pretty white.
Or was it a hospital? Who knows?
It was, yeah. Well, he just got his throat slit, dude.
Would they want to put him in? But
he was like, "Hello."
But okay, hold on. Do you actually think that a Garlean doctor was like, "Oh, he's had his throat cut and all his blood has gone out. Oh, you're alive. Welcome home, my friend." Do you think that happened in a normal hospital in Garlamald?
Well, no, I didn't say it was a normal hospital, but it's still
I just
like
got the impression this was like...
It's still like a sterilized environment, though. You know what I mean?
I feel like all of Garlamald is like that. I have a feeling they're going to be...
Yeah,
I mean, that's the dream for fascists. Just
you have a point? No, you have a point.
Okay. But putting that aside, what do you think about the jobs? We talked about Blue Mage extensively, because that is more or less feels like confirmed at this point. But what else can we get in this expansion?
See, I assume we would get something related to, like gunblades and stuff. Which could be Blue Mage, but it could be another one as well.
Blue Mage sounds weird at this point, because it seems like it's leaning towards being a tank.
Yeah.
Which, how do you give a tank a gun? Like, you could. I'm not saying it's impossible. It's not even close to impossible. But doesn't that seem sort of like a weird fit?
You'd probably just use it more like the blade.
Like a blade, yeah.
Yeah.
Like kind of how Gaius uses it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think one issue with it though is that would it has to be something you can unlock in a Ram 1 probably.
What do you mean?
Because
Right.
they don't like you having to go to the new zones to unlock things anymore.
Oh, anymore?
Well, I would guess in a weird way. Like, do you think it would start at level 50, or do you think it would just start at 60?
60.
And you going back to a Realm Reborn zone to unlock? Because at that point, that doesn't even make sense.
No, it doesn't.
Because you would still need to own past a Realm Reborn even to unlock it, which you do anyway. You don't. So like right now, to unlock Samurai, you need to own the feature expansions, but you don't need to do them, right?
Yeah.
But if the cap is level 60 to start the job, you need to own all of them and at least have almost played through Heavensward, or you won't be level 60, right?
Yeah.
So at that point, it kind of like defeats the purpose, doesn't it?
You might as well just have them inside the new zones and unlock them like that. It's not a bother, is it, really?
No, I don't.
I think
they need
it's
to
more.
stop
I think it's
catering to,
more
like,
to
beginner
make.
players.
I think it's more to make it accessible quicker for people that already have. Because you have to be level 50 to start. You have to have a class at level 50 to get to the job now.
Yeah.
Which alternatively
see
could have
that.
been, if they set that to 70, people would be like, oh, you can't even jump. Like, you can't even use a jump potion to get there.
I just wish they would just, like, the first zone you walk into, they offer you the job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like in the
As soon
Heavens,
as
you
you-
get to Ishgard,
Yeah.
and
It's like
like,
2
it
seconds.
makes sense that you go to the Machinist's Guild, like the
Yeah.
manufactory, to become a machinist. Not it's some random guy in Uldar.
That's a
Yeah.
really good point, actually, Mela, because really, like, going into Ishgard was the first thing you did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you
That was amazing.
waited
That
outside
was
the
great
gate
feeling.
until the expansion released, and then we walked inside,
Yes.
Mhm.
and then we could unlock the job. So that doesn't it. I think doing like something like that is totally acceptable, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And as you said, like lore wise, it makes a million times more sense. Why would we be learning how to be a samurai in Ul'dah in the desert?
Exactly.
It doesn't make any
Right.
sense.
Right. It doesn't make any sense.
And why were they both in Uldar? This like,
Yeah, they were both. They were like, I
Well,
don't know.
Red Mage made sense. I was okay
Yeah,
with Red Mage.
Red
starting
Mage
there. I was
was
like, oh, this
alright,
makes sense. I mean, it's like at least happened in Eorzea.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So
I
yeah.
don't know what the second one would
So
be
the
then.
second job then. What is this? So if it is Blue Mage, which again
It
probably
is.
is very likely.
Yeah.
What would fit to follow it? Now,
I-
if it is a tank, would it then also make sense to add a healer?
No, it would make sense to add a ranged physical.
I agree with that, Mela, but
that
it doesn't.
too.
It won't do that.
But I think
They need
what
three
if they
then.
added 3? But that is a
I agree.
they
3
did
is
that
the
with
number.
Heavensward. They backed
And
off
it was
in
fine.
Because they
in
fucked it
Stormblood.
up pretty
Yeah,
bad.
yeah.
Those 3 jobs sucked
Yeah.
so bad for a long time.
Could they be ready though for
One still does.
3?
Machinist.
Yeah, I mean, don't forget they also did say that was made harder by the fact that before Heavensward they had released Ninja,
Yes.
so they had released a
that's
job
true.
that they were already working on.
Yeah.
If they had saved Ninja for Heavensward, then they would have only really been designing like closer to 2.
Yes.
Um, That being said, I don't think it could be anything else Garlean for if they were gonna add a healer. A Garlean healer makes no sense.
It would just be like a
Chemist.
battle medic.
Chemist, please.
Chemist could work actually.
Give
as
me
a guardian.
chemist.
A totally aether free job.
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
god, that would be so cool.
Sure.
You have to have the healing potions in your
splash
inventory.
healing. I mean, that's.
Ammo.
Oh no.
And then
Do you know what splash healing reminds me of, Lucio?
What?
Cure
Wildstar.
3.
Yeah, I guess.
Cure 3.
Yeah, but I mean, like just throwing it on the ground, like
Yeah, it's all targeted.
throwing vials at the ground, like having a ground targeted heal. That's pretty cool.
Because then it doesn't. Then it's not
I mean,
based on
like-
MP cost. It's based on how many people are actually
It's
in
not. It's a burst heal. Yes, when you throw, you can at a range.
Earthly Star?
Yeah, but you have to wait for Earthly Star to load up.
No, you
This is-
don't.
Well,
there. Instant cast.
no, but you have to wait for it to
And
become
you can
the good
you can
one.
press it. You can press it right away.
Yeah, but that's the first form, isn't it? And then it turns into the
But
other
you
one.
still
after a
do
time.
it.
Yeah, but you don't get
Still
the
do
same
it.
potency.
Still good.
I'm saying a powerful cast heal. That would be cool. Or a splash
would be-
heal.
And you can throw
Uh,
ethers on the floor and stuff.
Chew Twice does have a good point, chat. That would be fucking terrible on PS4 with a control with a
Oh,
yeah.
controller.
Well,
That'd be
that's
I
awful.
think
Anyways.
it's time we let the PS4 go.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with you, dude. I don't disagree.
Yeah. I don't know. Just give me
Turret could
chemist.
work
I
like
don't
a
care.
shaman sort of thing.
The
like
PS4 people
Titans.
can just not play chemist.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Dude, you just reminded me of something I forgot like a week ago in the middle of a conversation with somebody, and it was that I wanted shaman.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh yeah,
Totally. Cool.
but shaman makes no
I don't want.
sense.
No, I don't want.
Yeah,
no,
not in
sorry.
this
I
game,
want
but-
a druid. I want a druid, like a beast,
As in
like
shape-shifting.
a shapeshifter.
This,
Yeah,
doesn't,
yeah,
this
that'd be
doesn't make
awesome.
any sense with the expansion. Now you're just talking
Give a
about
sh-
stuff.
Yeah, I know.
No,
but wouldn't it be
I'm
good?
saying that's what I want. Yeah, I'm not saying that in this
okay.
expansion.
Because
I
That's
think the
what we're
most
talking
like-
about here, by the way.
I think the most likely thing is dancer. Just
Yeah,
Why?
as a healer.
as a healer.
Yeah,
But
well,
why?
lore wise, I don't know how.
Garland.
Like, I don't see
Garland.
Garleans dance that much.
Well, there wouldn't be. No, I don't. That's what I said originally. I don't think the second job will be Garland related at all.
Then what would it be?
Garland-
Thavnaria?
Garlamald. Yeah, exactly. Thavnarian.
Oh.
dude.
So maybe we get
That-
Thavnair then.
No,
What?
Oh.
So they'll
The
release the
guy-
job, but not Thavnair.
like they did with Ninja. That wasn't really crazy, was it?
Yeah, but that was different. You can't bring up Ninja, which was a class they patched in. Like they
No,
were just
I'm not.
testing.
I'm just saying lore wise. They
Yeah, but
a
this
dude
feels
came
like-
over and taught you
It
how to
feels
do it.
like now we're unlocking a lot of shit. There's just this one cloudy area at the bottom near Othard that's still left. Isn't it time to? If they're implementing fucking Dancer, they
They
should
did
be
with
like.
Scholar too. I don't think that's a weird thing at all.
I think it's a weird thing.
Scholar, like, like there's tons of
Just give us Thavnair and Dancer.
Astrologian stuff comes from
What was
Yeah,
dancing
what's-
even do?
heal,
They
like they did in
dance.
11.
Yeah, but in what way?
Dance.
They dance.
How does that work?
You conduct
you
aether with
dance.
your feet.
Yeah.
Jesus, that's so bad.
No,
How
it's great.
dare
dude.
you?
Dancer
How-
was an awesome. It was awesome.
How dare
Yeah,
you?
I know it's a cool idea, but it doesn't. It's so it's stupid, though, isn't it? Really, think about it.
It is kind of stupid, but it's
It worked in 11.
it worked in 11. That's how we
Yeah,
defend
11
every
was
class that's dumb. Is it worked in 11?
Pinnacle of gaming.
So
I actually, Cavaloza actually nailed it. I think it's going to be a dance teacher if it's Dancer. Like, he's going to walk up and be like, I'll teach you how to dance. I will teach you how to dance.
I'm so sick.
Please plug in your dance mat.
Yeah.
So sick of everything.
Hey guys, I can't move because I'm on my dance mat.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see. So you think 2 or 3 jobs?
I'm gonna be optimistic and say 3.
Oh,
I
that's
want
usually
three.
a bad
I think-
idea in this game.
I think 2 is probably.
I
more
think 2
realistic.
too.
I think a tank and a healer is what we're
Want
gonna get.
3,
Tank and a healer.
wish for 2. No, sorry. I wish for 3, but I think we'll get 2.
Yeah.
In
Yeah,
before
agreed.
1.
God, could you
And
imagine?
it's like just something we
If
don't
they
even
give
know.
us 1,
I will second Mela's. We need a ranged physical DPS really
Of
badly.
course, yes.
I second that like 150%.
We have a lot of DPS now.
We have a lot of
They
tanks.
do
too.
have a lot of DPS, and they also are very similar.
Yeah.
I mean, we're at the point where jobs are just going to be aesthetics at this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I hate
they're
to be
all
negative,
similar
but
playstyle.
that's all it is. Like, it's just going to be what you prefer to look like as you're playing. It's
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
really going to. They're never going to break the mold to be like, like here's a VR job that's interesting and new. It's like, it's like we've
Yeah.
exhausted MMOs. We get like maybe at best we get like a tank pet or something. Like I don't
I
think
like
we'll get
that.
much.
Yeah.
If we're talking about what jobs we want, let's talk about what features we want, because I know what I want. I want Mythic plus dungeons.
Yeah.
You're on the four.
Scalable 4-man content that can last a very long time, potentially.
Well, see, potentially. You say potentially. We've talked about
Case
how
in point
content
is Warcraft.
lives. Yeah, but then you
Legion
come to
introduced
14.
Mythic Plus, and they've only very recently defeated the hardest content in it.
Yeah, but that wouldn't fly here.
I also
It
think
should, though. It should.
No.
as much as I love the idea of hard format content and dungeons and stuff, I don't think scalable is the way to go though, personally, because that leaves a lot to be desired in the balancing of the content
Yeah.
when it's just based on an algorithm and not hand tuned. I think that
Yeah.
makes a huge difference, and I think it's a lot of artificial difficulty.
Partially, yeah, with the things like increased damage and health for enemies, but I really liked the modifiers. Like, if you stand still, an AoE will come up under your feet, so you always have to move, or when enemies die, they drop a puddle. Or,
Right. And
things like that.
I agree with you 100%. I just think that's better off like hand tuned. You know what I mean? Like
I
if
agree.
they were to, yeah.
Because I mean, I know you would complain about this, Mel. This is the typical thing that you would say, like, this is just bloated HP and bloated damage. This is lazy content. You'd be complaining the whole dungeon. Oh wow, when AoE pops onto my feet, this is good content.
No. Only if they took the base dungeon and just increased HP or something like that. They have to add new mechanics as well.
Yeah.
But I'd be up for that.
For a while.
Yeah, I second the idea of hard format content.
Oh, absolutely. I want more hard format.
I would
content.
love Savage Dungeons.
Let us see how the Monster Hunter 4-man extreme goes, because if that works and it's a success, all trials could be scalable between 4 to 8 man potentially. Oh no, because then they need,
we'll
they
see.
need to think about mechanics.
This
don't
is
they?
like the
Right, and
first
like
time-
tanking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because this is
Tanking
content
stuff.
that we haven't seen in the game before, so it's the first time they sort of break the mold when it comes to like a trial. And this is a trial again. I don't think we've ever I think we have maybe made a point of how big that is for 14. This is a trial that's going to be there forever, and it completely breaks the mold for trials. The
It's
only
like
thing,
Praetorium and Castrum.
When what-
8-man
oh, yeah.
dungeons that never again happened.
That's
Mhm. Yeah. Right. What else would you want?
Features.
Features.
I hope a new way of building relics.
Oh yeah.
I hope they don't ride off the success of Eureka. So I'm gonna put success in quotations there. Actually,
Mhm.
I think it's half successful and half not successful.
Yeah.
But
Mix of
I
both systems.
yeah, maybe something like that. Like just I don't want them to keep. I think with Stormblood they did a very good move of like breaking themselves of old habits.
Yeah.
And again it's been both a positive and a negative. I think in certain aspects it's made things worse, in certain aspects it's made things better.
Yeah.
But I think I would like for them to not go back to just repeating the same things again.
Yeah.
You know, so it's using stuff like coming up with a new like relic system or breaking the mold with 8-man raids instead of it being 4 tiers. Do something interesting or
Exactly.
Yeah.
I just want them to shake everything up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes
Stormblood
sense.
felt it was Heavenswood but done really well.
Yeah.
Which
Right.
is fine, but it's also very predictable.
Because
And I
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely.
Getting tired of that.
Yeah.
I mean, even Heaven on High was like, we know it will come in this patch, and it
Yeah.
lo and behold fell right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, also I think what I want is they need to fix the role actions. They have to either remove it or make a new system. Because now
Yeah.
I think you should just remove them.
Yeah.
Square Enix. Just give up.
I think maybe add something
Probably.
more interesting. I don't know. The thing is, this game is
That's-
fucked. This game
Hey,
is
Lucio,
fucked to
I
the
hate,
core.
I hate to be the one to say it, but do you know what that sounds like?
What? Skill trees.
Skill trees.
Yes, please.
But the thing is, this game is so fundamentally fucked because if we added that a skill tree, the content would be like, how would you
Yeah, I don't want skill
balance
trees.
it? It would
I
be
don't want skill trees.
That's
fucked.
fair.
It's
Yeah.
Remove cross class skills, but then focus on
They have removed cross classes.
class identity
Roll now.
of whatever. Roll
I think they need to
focus
just say
on the class identity themselves.
Yeah.
right. Yeah. I think just go. Here's your 5 healer abilities. Take them.
Yeah.
Have them.
Mm-hmm.
Do what you want. And then do you just focus on the actual job's abilities instead of
And then
Yeah.
Sounds
bring in
me.
like iron skin. It's even better than stone skin. And then
yeah.
Oh yeah,
for
iron
sure.
skin. Yeah, bring that.
For sure.
That's cool.
It's 50% HP barrier.
Ooh.
It's just invincible. And you just don't have to do anything. Oh, but look, it costs all your MP.
Oh.
yeah,
Hmm.
All of it.
and your MP
I'd
no
still
longer
use it.
weakens.
I'd still use it.
I'd still use it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, is there anything else what does this game miss other than mythic dungeons? The fucked up roll system.
They need to continue their work on the glamour system.
Yes. Well,
They need
Yeah.
to remove what they've done so
Sure.
far and put in a proper glamour log. Because come on.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I don't know why. It's still the biggest mystery in the world why they just haven't given us that. Just an easy to
Nothing
use
feels-
glamour log.
Nothing feels better than a big list of like Plague Masters set 5 out of 7 complete, and you're like, I can get those last 2. I'll go get those last 2. Please.
They wouldn't even have to remove the one they have. They can just add the log. Just add the glamour log. It's surely they have. Like, look at how the armoire works. It could work like that. It could be a system similar to that, to the armoire. I'm bringing up like the worst fucking system in the game, but I know, yes, they can't do it because game
I just
bad.
don't think they have. I just don't think they have the servers.
Yeah,
server space for it is my thing.
Yeah,
because they refuse to let us store anything on our end, obviously, which I get.
They have to sell retainers. They have to make money.
Yeah, that too. That's actually another good point. Yeah, true.
Right. I don't know what else I want, really. It's just...
I'll tell you what, I've seen a lot of people asking for it lately. I don't want trust NPCs.
No.
Because I've seen a lot of people like, make the... Because it's because of squadrons. People are like, why can't we bring our squadron members everywhere? Why can't I do real dungeons with my squadrons? It's like...
They knew what they were doing when they added this. They knew people
I know,
were gonna ask about
but they didn't have to add it so early. And now they, like... are we going to just... The game's not dead yet. The game's not dead yet, guys. It's fine. We don't need to, there's still people to play with. We're not alone yet.
I know it's absurd, but you know, I guess some people just don't want to play with others, and they just want to.
Then I have a very interesting thing for that. You believe it or not, there's actually there's 13 other Final Fantasy games that you can play.
And moreover on that, there's this thing called single-player games. What? There are loads of those. When you play a massively multiplayer online role-playing game, you can know, right?
It's weird.
Why do people want path companions though? Because all that's going to be is you'll have this conversation with like a big NPC.
Now you're talking about path companions. That's
whatever.
Well, it's the same thing basically.
And then like Hoary Boulder comes over, it's like, good point. And then
I like what you said there.
I'm pretty sure actually.
Nice idea.
I'm pretty sure actually that if they ever implement trust NPCs, they're gonna call them path companions.
I agree.
That's already a name within the game. I mean, path companion in the system of 1.0 was that would probably work, but that was only one person, right? So, and the only thing it did was assist you in main story battles.
Which we don't need because we always have ours with other people,
Yeah. Like Rap.
Yeah. Or those ninjas that throw those like crazy heal potions at you somehow.
Yeah.
Oh,
I love those guys.
Chemists.
Those guys are great.
Okay.
Yeah, they basically are chemists.
Okay.
Chemist ninja.
We need to shift gear because now we're going to read some MogMail. We have a lot of MogMail, so buckle up. We won't be able to read all of it today, but please do keep sending us MogMail, speakersxiv.com/MogMail, because the website works now. Hey. Okay, let's take a look at this MogMail here from... That's not on my list. Well, Pixella. Hello again, speakers. Regardless of gender, if your 14 character had the opportunity to get romantically involved with any NPC of Eorzea, which one would you choose and why? P.S. I really hope you don't choose Tataru, but to each his own.
What's wrong with her?
I mean, I kind of have a boring answer, but nobody, because I'm already married in the game, so I don't, I'm good.
Not in the main story, yes. Not in the main story. You were single in the main story.
Well, she was there when I killed Shinria, so it's pretty main story, actually.
I would go...
Emmerich looked at you with lust for that.
Oh, I actually looked at him. I wanted to bang him,
Emmerich.
too, that's true.
Emmerich is my final answer.
Yeah, I would probably also choose Emmerich, to be honest.
Mela?
Well, I'll keep the theme going. I'll go for Monago.
Oh, Monago. Okay.
You would pick a cat, girl.
Okay, let's move on. Thank you, Pixella, for that. Hope you got the answer.
2 out of 3 of us want to bang Emmerich.
There you go.
That's the answer.
Next one's from...
That's true.
Next one's from Conan Kudo from
Dude,
Famfrit.
I think you put the wrong. None of these are on.
No, these are from last week. The ones on the show now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I can probably.
No, it's fine. No, it's
Okay,
fine. I can just
hey, new listener, just starting a few weeks ago after catching up with Roar and working on Store bit by bit. I'm a player transitioning from WoW a long time ago into 14, TLDR, a much better game. Though I noticed something after I got through story content and started prepping for raids that was just kind of confusing to me. What happened to cause statics to form over raiding FCs? I played in early 2.0 in a raiding FC super early on, and then when I came back in Stormblood to have everything be way different, and major value FCs hold without being focused on raids. I like it overall, but it's just a strange thing to me. Thanks all. Keep up the good work.
I know the exact answer. I know the exact answer for this. It's just not as many people raid in this game as they did in World of Warcraft. So it's really like FCs are not like, if you were to take all the raiders on certain servers, especially if we're going to talk hardcore raiders, that's a very small percentage of the server, and the FC is not going to grow to the same levels that they would on WoW.
That being
where
said,
they would be like, we're massive, we kill any raid.
But that being said, we do have raiding FCs, but they're very like exclusive. Like we have like Entropy.
And then they all get in trouble eventually or something. They all just it's
So what Conan said, and he's correct in, is that in A Realm Reborn, people didn't know how the game was going to be yet. So people went in with a WoW mentality, and they were like, this was probably going to be a raiding game. Raiding FCs were formed, and then there were like, we got Coil, and then after that, we're like, no, we can't sustain this FC on just raiding, and then it just fell apart, and we formed statics instead. So it's just how it is.
I mean, it's even weird. Like my whole static is from Fairy, except for me.
Mm-hmm.
They're not in the same FC though. Even though they're on the same server and everything, they're all there. I mean, half of them are in the same FC. The other couple of them are over there.
Right.
I don't know. I just don't think it's. I think link shells specifically, especially cross world in the party finder. It's like, I think 100% of the time you're going to have an easier time finding a group of people that are equally leveled, equal to skill level to you, in 100 times easier than ever within your own FC, within your group of max 100 something. What's the cap on FCs? 120 something.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, would you rather have a pool of 5,000 or 120? It's
it's just how it is. And of course there's so much other content in the game, so if you were just a raiding FC, it would be kind of weird, because would you be calling out for expert runs in a it's just a weird situation. Yeah, right. So that's what happened. People were like, okay, FCs are for something different. That's more the social hub, and then you form link shells and whatnot for statics.
Also, like, imagine for example, like an ultimate FC. I'm pretty sure you could fit almost every single player doing ultimate in that FC.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
It would just be like one FC.
Yeah.
So like
like
the rating, I love rating. I think it's got the best rating ever. It's just there isn't that many people doing it. Like percentage wise, it's way lower than most other MMOs, right?
They I have a feeling there was a number once, but I can't remember.
It was on the Lucky Bancho thing. It was like
it was
percentage. It was Lucky Bancho. It was just like all the active players versus how many servers.
It was very low. It was a very low number.
I think it was like 1 or 2%, something like that. So it was pretty low.
It lives up to the 1%
of active players. By the way, that's not that's active, so it's even lower if you take all players.
Okay, so thank you, Conan, for that.
Good question.
Good question. Let's move on to the next one, and that is from it's from AJ. It says to take it in the post show, but there's no post show today, so we're doing it now. No, that's not from AJ.
Not AJ.
So that means I've fucked up. Wait, hold on. There's AJ.
Hey,
AJ Brents. Oh my god, your name. I'm just gonna call you AJ. Ragnarok. Hi guys and Mala. This is not really 14 related, so feel free to disregard or maybe answer in post show instead of the podcast. Well, I'm doing it now. We're doing it live. Anyway, just after I started watching your channel, you stopped streaming the podcast on YouTube. Obviously, part of this was down to narrowing your focus and getting more viewers on Twitch to help with partnership. Congrats, by the way. Thank you. But could you go into what the benefits are? What the benefits are for you streaming on Twitch as opposed to YouTube? Is it simply a numbers thing, or does Twitch have better options, or is it just simply that Twitch was around first and you were already there before YouTube streaming happened? I'm asking because I'm struggling with that question myself. I have a normal VOD YouTube channel with subscribers and an audience. When I start streaming, is it worth starting fresh on Twitch, or should I stay where my existing subscribers are?
Wow.
I think everyone on YouTube just hated us, so we stopped. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Well, oh god. We started on Twitch, and then YouTube grew faster, and then YouTube became the primary speakers place. And there was like we had a split community then, because we had the Twitch people and the YouTube people, and the YouTube people weren't necessarily aware of the Twitch part of the channel.
Actually, we haven't had a third one, because then we had like a Discord thing that was like almost sometimes not connected to the other two even. Oh yeah, so we almost had like 3 going on.
We've had there's been a big mess in our community, and so an attempt was made to bridge the gap by streaming on both Twitch and YouTube, and it worked to a certain degree. Slowly but surely we converted some of the YouTube audience over to the podcast, but eventually it started to feel like it had leveled out, and then of course there's that with Twitch, the Twitch wants Twitch exclusivity, so we had to stop. So that was that. It wasn't that was actually not to get more viewers for partnership. That was because we had to.
Yeah, once you became even affiliates, they're not allowed to stream on YouTube anymore.
Yeah. So that was that. But
also, I also just like look at it from an outside view, not knowing anything about it. But who treats their people better? Who treats creators better? Was it YouTube? Is it YouTube?
Okay,
it's not YouTube. It's not YouTube.
YouTube's not feeling too great right now, but it's that happened too. Felt a little betrayed by YouTube, of course, as a small creator. That happens, but that's not why we stopped. By the way, that's nothing to do with it. We would have streamed now if there wasn't for that exclusivity thing. But not even normally, I would say if you already have an audience on one platform, you shouldn't have to ask them to go to another one, because most of them won't. Like most of the people that watched on YouTube live probably aren't even watching this on Twitch, even as they know that we're like, okay, I'll wait for the VOD instead on YouTube. Like some people are just set that this is the platform I choose. So be where you're
guilty of that.
Yeah. So
I won't buy any game that's not on Steam. I'm not gonna like download another thing to go buy it.
Exactly.
I'm like, no, I'll wait till it comes to Steam, or I'll never buy it.
Yeah. So if your audience is on YouTube, stream on YouTube, because that's where your audience is. If you start from scratch, you are not guaranteed to have that audience follow you to Twitch. That's a big move. That's a big jump for a lot of people. So just keep that in mind.
It's like moving cities. None of your friends are gonna follow you.
Yeah, that's kind of true.
So that being said, we treat both platforms equally, love them both, but streaming happens on Twitch. That's the streaming platform now. VODs will of course go on YouTube. Okay. Can we do another? Yes, we can. Thank you, AJ, by the way, for that. I hope that made you wiser. Next one's from Wickerbine. Carisel, whatever. Nice. Wickerbine. We're best friends. We're best friends. I was listening to we're best friends. Don't worry about it. I was listening to an older podcast, 95, I think, where you were talking in depth about Lighthouse and Final Fantasy XII, while mindlessly going about my job. At some point, Viera was mentioned. I'm pretty sure it has been mentioned to you already, but there is actually concept Viera artwork in the Heavensward art book. Pretty sure it's been mentioned to you already, but I still want to comment on it. Thanks. Love your show and your Sora and Roar series. Hashtag Gaius lives. We've talked about this before.
There's actually more artwork than that.
Yeah.
Because there's that artwork that they showed at the it's like a fate or something.
The fake
I think it was literally a fate. No, not the fake one. No, at a fate in Japan. They put up that stream and it was the male Viera.
Yes.
It's like yeah. So like we've seen it, it's there, yeah.
Which is why it still makes the most sense that that's the next race if they're adding one, because they've clearly fleshed out a lot of the designs for them. I mean, can only hope that will get hope, I guess, for some.
Or hope not, because I don't want it.
Yeah,
I don't
I
want it.
actively want it to not be included.
Yeah, I'm with Mela on this one. I don't want it at all.
I don't want
But
Mela either.
it's
I don't want
only
any
to
new
be
race. I'm
annoying.
not one of those people. I just don't care.
Oh, I want new races. I just don't
Yeah.
want like humans with ears races
Yeah,
anymore.
I want
But that's the
I'm
only
done- I'm
races
done.
you'll get in this game.
I know, Lukiel. I'm aware, all right? I hate it. Fucking sucks.
Okay. The next one, we are actually helping someone by answering this, and it's going to be a very easy thing to help with. It's from. That's not the question I had. Okay,
Farah's
well,
serious.
Farah's. We're not helping. That's the later.
You're not very good at
Hello,
this.
speakers. I was wondering, every player has their annoyances and things that frustrate them within the game past and future. I was wondering what would be the one thing if Square Enix added that would made you quit the game. And in regards to your answer, would you quit or just play less? Love the show. Always brings a smile, makes me laugh. Keep up the awesome work, guys. Faris. Thank you, Faris.
Free to play.
Free to play.
Free to play would be the major one.
That would
Yeah.
be and for the second part of the answer, that would be quitting.
That would be quitting as well.
Yeah, that would
for
be
me.
quitting.
Yes.
Yes.
I would definitely,
Absolutely.
but for as an additional, it would actually be not adding anything and just following the same formula for another 6 years.
Yeah, getting stuck in the
I'm not
patch
gonna.
cycle would. I mean, it's
Go
already
back.
happening. Like, it's,
Yeah, I mean, I think we all said it last week that like none of us are playing as much as
Yeah.
we were in the past.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's actually kind of worrying because
it is a little. I've been pretty worried. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I have also been pretty worried.
Especially since they're touting this game as being so good and having all this content, but they've slowly but surely slowed down the patch cycle, stretched it out as much as they can, and even though they do that, they don't really change the recipe. Like, they don't change anything of how like things are happening patch wise.
Exactly.
So the only thing that's new now is that it takes longer to get the content. So I don't know. Free to play is definitely the final nail in the coffin.
That would be a nail in the coffin
Yeah.
for me. Absolutely. Yeah.
Other than that, I think, I mean, playless has already happened, but it's probably not going to be. I hope this is just the patch, like 0.3 curse
Yeah.
that
I agree.
tends to happen with this game, and that it's going to get better again after this. And hopefully they're paying attention to the community's reaction. Although we already know Yoshi P has had this very scary. He had that weird, scary statement like, "Just don't play."
Yeah.
Which is an absurd thing to say as a producer director
I
of a
would
video
be-
game.
We'd be on a long break this time.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
imagine how long you would be not playing for if you listened to his advice.
Yeah.
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 I don't think I've ever put down any game for 3 months and come back.
Exactly. It's what I've said before.
Like, it doesn't
usually
happen.
When a person starts flying off and when they start playing like another, like say they start another
It's
MMO,
steep.
and
Mhm.
I don't think I've ever seen anyone recover from that yet.
Yeah.
Because
Well, some people
they
have
have
the
to come
ability.
back if that game
Yeah.
crashes again. Like then they come back to that.
I know a few people who have the mental capacity to like actually evenly disperse the time, but those people are like rare. I think they're great. I envy you. I'm impressed.
Yeah.
But it's like
I wish I were you.
most people are like, oh, I'm gonna try 14. I've been playing WoW. I'm gonna try 14. Boom. They don't even play WoW anymore. They're just
Right.
done.
Right. Yes.
Like, I mean, the guy in the like 2 MogMails ago was like, I started playing 14 and it's way better. Like,
yeah.
you don't usually go back to something.
Right.
you
Yeah.
know?
You might jump
Um,
back in every now and then for a little bit.
Yeah.
But
Sure.
I mean, when I
You-
first jumped back onto 14 on Mailer, I was like 8 hours a day constantly for ages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was so good, and now it's like a couple hours
mean,
a week.
So yeah, right. But this is for people that have played. We've played a long time. We have played.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
for us, it's always going to be difficult. There's going to be hard to please
True.
us at this point.
True.
And that's going to keep going. Like the older we get, and the more time we've spent in the game, the more difficult this is going to be for this game to keep us here because everything will start to feel the same. But
Yeah.
stretching out the patches like this doesn't help. Because now it
No,
just feels like we're
scale
waiting.
does not help,
content is the
yeah.
future.
Yeah, because you already have this drought, and they're like, oh, we're finally getting content. It's just like a tiny piece of content. I'm not saying that Eureka's going to be tiny, though. It's probably going to be pretty massive. And we're getting Monster Hunter World as well. And
Mhm.
the summer event, which is odd. they've only had one event have we had during this patch. Only the Make It Rain one. Is that the
Make
only
It
one
Rain,
we've
yeah.
had?
Yeah.
Oh god, I wish they could have at least added some
Yeah.
sort of other event during this period because it's so dry. But it's yeah, free to play. To answer your question again, free to play.
Free to play, yep.
That would make me leave. But don't worry, I'm not going to leave yet. It's fine. It's probably the 0.3 curse. We're just gonna hope that that's what this is.
I guess also just if I keep being bored for like a year at a time, I'll probably stop playing.
Yeah, right.
Like if I was playing this amount for like a full year,
yeah,
I don't know if I'd still be playing.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a scary time. No, it's not a scary time. Don't worry.
No, it's not.
Okay. Let's I think it's time to wrap it up. Remember to stay tuned though, because the Gillionaire will follow after this. So stay tuned for that. If you're watching live, of course. If you're watching on demand, sorry, not happening.
Do we need to draw the dungeon?
You are correct, Mr. Potter.
Thank you, Guy. You're the best.
Guy.
I mean, how would you say it? Jai?
You know what I would say? I would
Guy.
say E.
Guy. E.
E.
Where's the... Oh, it's right there. Okay. Let's take a look. There was a... Oh my god.
Drought's so strong, we're still even running out of dungeons to do.
Okay. There was a fly in this cup. I heard it as I picked it up. Okay, here we go.
Now he shakes it around.
No, it's not in there anymore. Okay, here we go. 3.
Saint Mercy.
Wait, what am I count? It's not like I've never done this before. Like 1, 3, 2, 1. What am I supposed to do when I hit? Okay, here we go. Pick a dungeon.
Wait. Alright, because this list, now that I know it works, weird. I'm gonna say the Airy. We haven't done the Airy, have we?
No.
Yeah, the Airy. That's
Good choice.
that's my guess.
I'll say Cutter's Cry again.
Seriously, thank you for this list. I'm saying more than like the 2 repeat dungeons, I guess, every week.
Sastasha
Hard. Have we not done that?
I'm sure we've done that.
Didn't we do it right after Sastasha
What does
Normal?
the list say?
The list says it is actually not Sastasha Hard. It says we haven't done it.
Yep, we haven't.
Alright, fine.
So Sastasha Hard, that's happening.
Ooh.
That's reminds me of that run.
Also, no, I did not make this list. Shout out to Shrimpacles, because I did not make this. I'm too lazy.
Right, okay. And then we have to spin the wheel. The wheel
why
of
did you remind us
doom.
of the wheel?
Here we go. Here it is. Let's spin it and see
Doesn't
what.
even matter anymore. I'm going to close my eyes.
Here it is. Let's spin it.
Oh.
No right side.
No. We've already done it.
No, he says.
We've already done it. We should spin it when we get the same thing, right?
I mean, it's the wheel.
No.
What the wheel has chosen, the wheel has chosen.
But no HUD is
What does
boring.
chat think? Obey the wheel, they say.
Okay.
I think
You
that's
say
the
so.
purpose of the wheel, you know?
Okay.
I mean, we could delete the wheel also. We could also delete the wheel.
Please delete the wheel.
That's a thing. That's also an option.
Out of the question. Okay. Thank you guys for watching. Remember to follow us on Twitter at SpeakersXIV, twitch.tv/SpeakersOfIdle, and youtube.com/SpeakersXIV, ! Discord and chat to join our Discord server, or if you're watching it on demand, link is in the description.
Send us MogMail!
SpeakersXIV.com/MogMail. Bye. Oh wow, that was quick. That was quick.